What is going on, everybody? My name is John Solo. A few weeks ago, I shared a theory with you guys, a theory discussing the real reasons Vader might have lost to Luke in their second lightsaber battle on the Death Star. Today's theory discusses the events that follow that duel and the death of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. Specifically, I want to discuss this scene here, where you see the ghosts of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, and of course Anakin. A lot of Star Wars fans have a problem with this scene, maybe not as big of a problem as they do with the musical number in Jabba's palace, but it comes pretty close. One thing that these two scenes have in common, other than the audience's negative reaction to them, is they were both digitally altered years after the original release of Return of the Jedi. The musical number of Cy Snoodles was converted from a puppet to CGI and extended, while Anakin's ghost, played by Sebastian Shaw, was replaced by Hayden Christensen. This change to the closing scene angered Star Wars fans for a couple of reasons. First off, it wasn't a change that anyone really found necessary. Other than watching the remastered version for the first time and thinking, oh, that's Hayden Christensen, it didn't really do anything to enhance the viewing experience. To a lot of people, it was just another instance of George Lucas abusing his power, making these tiny tweaks solely because he could, and ignoring the opinions of the majority of the fan base. It's also been pointed out that when someone is viewing the saga for the first time and wants to watch the episodes in the order they were released, that's episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3, theoretically, seeing Hayden Christensen in that closing scene would mean nothing to them because they hadn't seen the prequels yet. Sidebar, this can be fixed by watching the saga in what's known as the Machete Order, an excellent alternative in my opinion. It should be said though that the official viewing order according to George Lucas is chronological and not release order. So that's how replacing old Anakin with young Anakin has been justified. There's one thing you've got to admit about these complaints though, no matter how much you agree or disagree with them, and that's that they're all behind the scenes complaints. As far as official in-universe Star Wars canon is concerned, there's no reason why Anakin couldn't appear as his younger self in ghost form. The problem is, to some people, this isn't a good enough explanation. That's why I want to suggest a theory that provides an in-universe explanation. A reason that Anakin's ghost actually should be younger instead of a reason it's okay that he's younger, if that makes sense. I believe the reason Anakin's ghost appeared as his younger self is because that's who he chose to die as. It's pretty well known that George Lucas has always talked about Anakin and Vader being two separate identities. After he chose to betray Palpatine and throw him down the reactor shaft, Vader was effectively dead. Anakin Skywalker was all that remained, and he died shortly after. What I want to point out is that even though Anakin did re-emerge before his death, he was still trapped in the shell Vader had made for him. Even in his final moments, he still looked like Vader, spoke like Vader, and was using his suit to survive. Physically, there was nothing about him that wasn't the result of a decision Vader made while using the dark side of the Force. Because of this, and because of the fact that dark side users don't have Force ghosts, at least in the sense that light side users do, his ghost manifested in the way he looked before he fell to the dark side. Like I said, this is headcanon for me. I'm not saying you've got to agree with it, but if you're someone who's always been bothered by Hayden Christensen appearing in that final scene, this is a way to remedy that. Now, for those of you who want to believe it but aren't fully convinced, I also want to point out an interesting part of the Return of the Jedi novelization, a passage that actually explains what's going through Anakin's head as he's dying. In his final moments, after Luke removes his helmet, Anakin gets self-conscious. He realizes his son is the first person to see his full face in over 20 years. And here's what he thinks. It intensified momentarily, Vader's own sense of anguish to his crimes. Now he added guilt at the imagined repugnance of his appearance. But then this brought to mind of the way he used to look, striking and grand, with a wry tilt to his brow that hinted of invincibility, and took in all of life with a wink. Yes, that was how he'd looked once. And this memory brought a wave of other memories with it. Memories of brotherhood, Obi-Wan, his friend, and how that friendship had turned. Turned he knew not how, but got injected nonetheless with some uncaring virulence that festered until, hold. These were memories he wanted none of. Not now. Memories of molten lava crawling up his back? No. This boy had pulled him from that pit, here, now, with this act. This boy was good. The boy was good, and the boy had come from him, so there must have been good in him, too. So to reiterate, Anakin's dying thoughts involved him rejecting his negative memories one last time, embracing the good ones, and specifically the way he looked before his duel on Mustafar. And that's who he chose to die as. Now keep in mind that although the books based on the first 6 movies are no longer canon, they were at one point, and they were all based on the original shooting scripts for each film. Because of that, I'm willing to accept this as a little bit of extra evidence in support of today's theory, that George Lucas has legitimate in-universe reasons for making the changes he did. I am curious though, what are your opinions on this? Are you going to use this theory to justify young Anakin's ghost, or do you not really feel a need to justify it? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video and what I do with this channel, make sure to hit that like button to show your support, subscribe for weekly Star Wars content just like this, and pass this theory on to someone you know who might need it. Until next time, my name is John Solo. May the Force be with you, and remember, John shot first.